For the first video that I'll make in 2022, I have a little encouragement for you guys, because I think we all can benefit from a little encouragement and motivation from time to time. It's a new year. You know, I've never been one to make New Year's resolutions. I think it's stupid. If you want to change something, change it then. As Johnny Groob said in a recent video of his. I've often thought, you know, how often do you see people making New Year's resolutions and they stick to it a few days and then they quit, give up? It's completely nonsensical, in my opinion. But it is a new year, and the encouragement I got for you is as follows. A while back, I had reposted a post on Telegram to my channel from another channel. And in the post it had this picture here of these two wolves cuddled together, happy to be in each other's company. And the guy that had posted it had written under the picture, "We're all gonna be alright." Now, I'm not here to pat you on your back and tell you that everything's gonna be okay. And one of my friends had commented under the post saying that basically that this is a lie and that we're all gonna die a horrible, bloody death. And you know, he may not be wrong in his prediction, in his assumption. You know, if things come to push and shove, certainly and very well might be the case. And you know, looking at things, myself, I am pessimistic in the short term, but I am optimistic in the long term. My friend Nord Lux had recently said this in a stream, and I agree with him completely. But the way I've always looked at this sort of thing is, at least on a personal level, I will always make it until the day comes that I'm fated not to. I will always make it. I may not always win, may not always come out on top, may lose, may even fail spectacularly. But I will always make it, one way or the other, until the day that I don't. This is just how I approach it. It may seem very simplistic, but it works for me. It's worked for 34 years. And you know, I've mentioned before that I used to be a drug addict, I was a criminal, I was a thief, in and out of jail. I lived that life. And I have been in some pretty precarious situations before. A few dangerous ones, actually. Here in the future, I may make a couple of videos where I tell a couple of these stories to you all. You know, during this time, it was... Sometimes, you know, I have to admit I'm kind of shocked that I got away from it all, considering how deep I was into this sort of destructive and degenerate lifestyle. I really am. You know, and a lot of times, well, no, I shouldn't say a lot of times, because I really don't dwell on it too much. But occasionally I think, you know, what could have been if, you know, I hadn't wasted those years. I have to admit, the last 2 years of my life, 2020, this past year of 2021, has been 2 of the best years of my life. You know, we bought this house here, working on becoming self-reliant, make videos. It's a hobby that I never imagined I would have. I've met several people by doing this in real life. People that I care for, people that I love. And I hope to meet a few more this year and to revisit some of those that I've already met. But if you look at the world around us, it's crazier than ever. I mean, really, it's just insane, really. And going back to my struggles in the past, Ted Kaczynski had written that a lot of times here in modernity, people, since our basic needs are largely fulfilled, civilization takes care, we don't have to, of all these needs basically, we don't have a struggle to survive. And that a lot of times we will manufacture crises. And believe me, I have manufactured a few personal crises in my lifetime. But I always made it through them. Sometimes I took a beating, mentally, emotionally, maybe physically. Occasionally, every now and then, I may have handed out a beating. That's life. That's how it goes. And you see, sometimes I sit around and think about where I could be now if, I hadn't have done this. Sometimes I regret, I did bad things during this time. I could be a mean person, to be honest. But I don't dwell too deeply on these things because it's over and done with. I can't go back and change it. And you know what? Even if I could, I don't think I would. Because I often hear people talk about being an addict, once an addict, always an addict. I don't see it that way. I'm not going back to how I used to be. Because I killed that part of myself. And I also learned that, a lot of the things plaguing our people, a lot of this drug abuse, drug addiction, the degeneration of our people. This is what the powers that be want. And over my dead fucking body, if I'm going to be like that, if I'm going to give them that, because that's how they want us all. And I mean, I'm not talking about just, illegal narcotics like meth or heroin or whatever. How many people do you see that take antidepressants and all these other things? It's just completely, it's not healthy. It's not fucking good. Not in the least. That's how they want us. And like I said, I ain't giving it to them. And I wouldn't go back and change anything because I learned some practical skills during these years. I also learned that I could do without a lot of things. You see, I started getting into meth pretty hard in 2016. I had a good job, a really good job at the time. Early in 2017, I lost that job. And then the downward spiral, you could say, really accelerated after that. But I made it through it. I was lucky to get away from it, but I made it. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly. But I pulled through and emerged on the other side intact. In fact, I would say stronger than ever. I'm not one to brag on myself or anything like that, but I learned things. And pulled through. I made it. Like I said, the last 2 years, been clean for 3 years. The last two of the best years of my life. I said, bought this house, working on becoming self-reliant. I'm getting married here soon. Life's good. Have a good job. a job that I enjoy. I work for good people. The only thing I complain about my job is paying taxes. I hate paying taxes to a system that hates us, that wants us dead, basically. I hate that. And if I could find a way around that, believe me, I'd do it. But anyways, my encouragement to you all is to find a way to make it. You know, I truly believe in this old saying, you know, I don't believe in karma, not in the least. I think karma is a lie that is encouraged, that is promoted, you know, to encourage the wronged to just sit on their hands, not change anything, and that some higher power will, what's the word I'm looking for? Some higher power will rectify the situation and deal with those who have abused them, I guess you could say. It's not really how I wanted to phrase it, but this is all unscripted, so deal with it. Anyway, I don't believe in karma, but I do believe in this saying that the heart gets what the heart truly wants. I've found this, I've discovered this in my own life. And another saying that a wise lady once told me, that sometimes in life what we are seeking is actually seeking us. You know, that seems a little idealistic, but I think there's some truth there to that saying. So here in 2022, I would encourage you all to live, to gain new skills, practical skills, something you can apply in real life, because we're going to need that, I believe. And also, you know, to build something. You want something, go out there and get it. You may fail the first time. You may fail a couple of times. But if you truly want it, you will find a way. You'll find a way to make it. Is there anything else? Anyways, just a short video. Go out there and live. And you know, also, I meant to add too, as I was saying earlier, about how on a personal level, these past 2 years have been really, really good for me. While the whole world around us, society and everything, is just declining. My little brother, my younger brother, I shouldn't say little, he's taller than I am, bigger than I am. He's a very intelligent man. He's much more intelligent than I am. I seen on his Facebook page he had recently posted about how this past year he had largely tuned out what was going on out in the world, like out in the media. Because, I mean, really, he had written saying, you know, it's all there to demoralize us, which, if you dwell on it too long, absolutely. You know, over time, I've largely developed a sort of immunity to this sort of thing. Because when I see, it's like this, the way I look at it is for us to enjoy the decline. Because, I mean, it's on its way. I mean, just the other day, wasn't it on I-95 that a lot of people, a lot of drivers, travelers were stranded for a day or more in that snowstorm. A fucking major artery in this first world nation. You see, with the increased diversification of the government, these intelligence agencies, administration, the bureaucrats, all these things, you know, it's kind of shocking to think that such a lack of preparedness by, you know, just even the state or federal highway department or whatever, you know, these agencies. And with the increased diversification, that is one thing that we can we can look at as opportunity. I think William Luther Pierce had written about this in the Turner Diaries, actually, about how this increased diversification led to increased ineptitude of these agencies and bureaus, all these things. So the way I look at it is just enjoy the decline, you know. Just because everything around you is declining doesn't mean you have to. And like I said, there's opportunities. You just have to have the right mindset, perhaps be a little creative, and you know, realize these things. So yeah, the decline is here. I don't know how quick it'll be, but I mean, we're seeing it in real time. But like I said, just because everything else is declining doesn't mean that you have to as well. And after all, if you're watching this video, you're unvaccinated and you're aware of a lot of these things, pat yourself on the back. Recognize that you have resisted the most blatant propaganda, the most ridiculous, what's the word I'm looking for? It's escaping me once again. Just the advertisement, just the literally propaganda. If you have resisted this, you've accomplished something. So my encouragement to you all is to build something or destroy something. If there are chains binding you to something, destroy them. Work on becoming self-reliant. You know, I'm really just beating a dead horse here. Talked about these things before, as are countless other people saying the same type of things. But on a personal level, you should look at it as I do, I think, you know, that you will make it. You will find a way. You have to find a way. Our ancestors. In this video here I made several months ago, I looked at the life of my grandparents. You see, my grandparents they had problems. 3 out of 4 of them were dead before the time they were 60, before the age of 60. They didn't live very long. None of them did. But even with their faults and their failings, they still did good things. And I mean, I'm seriously, absolutely convinced that without their faults and failings, without their shortcomings, I wouldn't be here in this current form, in this current state, speaking to you right now. Just like with my own struggles and failures in life. If I hadn't went through those things, I wouldn't be here right now. So my encouragement to you all, like I said, is to build something and to enjoy the decline. Because in destruction, there is rebirth. In death, there is rebirth. It's the eternal cycle. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.